Have you ever imagined fighting for your life in a packed arena with thousands of people screaming for blood? In ancient Rome, gladiators were not just warriors, they were living spectacles, symbols of glory and brutality. But the truth behind these battles is far darker than most imagine. Behind the armor and the roar of the crowd, there were betrayals, conspiracies, and a cruel fate awaiting each of these fighters. They faced wild beasts, fought to the death, and often had no choice but to entertain the empire at the cost of their own blood. Today, we will reveal the shocking truth about Rome's 10 most feared gladiators, their rise and fall, and how their stories shaped the legend of the arenas. But before we dive into this brutal journey, have you subscribed to the channel yet? Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any epic stories about the Roman Empire. Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications enabled so you never miss our fascinating historical videos about ancient Rome. And to kick off our list, how about meeting a gladiator who caught attention through graffiti left on Pompeii's walls, where his name was celebrated as a true phenomenon? The unexpected strength of Tetrius Detran. Tetrius Detran emerged from archaeological records and paintings dating back to the 1st century, especially in the ruins of Pompeii. These ancient testimonies show how admired he was by the population. His face and name were scattered across walls and ceramics, praising his feats in the arena. It was not uncommon for fans to draw small depictions of his battles, illustrating his bold combat style. His defining characteristic was fighting without chest armor, something that symbolized a mix of courage and confidence. When Tetrius Detran entered the arena, armed only with a large rectangular shield and a short sword, the crowd went wild. This fighting style, inspired by techniques known in some regions of the Italian peninsula, made his movements swift and precise, compensating for his apparent lack of upper body protection. Moreover, his fame spread when he defeated another gladiator, Pluris, an opponent who had been gaining recognition through victories in smaller tournaments in Rome. This clash, depicted on glass vases found in places like France and England, helped immortalize Tétrius's bravery. Each painting or artifact represented not just a victory, but also the prestige he earned. Thanks to these relics, his name reached distant regions, proving that even without extensive official records, Tetrius Detran was an icon that transcended borders. Leaving the streets of Pompeii, we now travel to the center of Roman power, where we meet Espiculus, a gladiator who not only won over the public, but also caught the attention of one of the most controversial emperors in history. Espiculus, the emperor's favorite. Espiculus lived in the 1st century AD and became known for his swift victories in the arena. Before gaining the fame that would tie him to Nero, he followed a path common to many gladiators. He began his career as a war slave, training for hours without rest to become a great fighter. What set him apart was his exceptional ability to read his opponents, a natural talent that quickly elevated him above the rest. Nero, fascinated by the controlled violence of gladiator battles, soon took an interest in Espiculus. His admiration turned into unprecedented privileges. The emperor gifted him wealth and palaces, something highly unusual for a gladiator. This imperial patronage made Espiculus a sensation in Rome, participating in special fights and being constantly invited to private exhibitions. Each duel he won only reinforced his elite status. Nero's obsession with Espiculus was so great that in his final moments, the emperor is said to have wished to die at the gladiator's hands. However, with the revolt against Nero's rule and his eventual downfall, his advisors were never able to locate Espiculus in time to fulfill his last request. Today, Roman artworks, mosaics, and statues still reflect the image of a man fortunate enough to captivate one of history's most eccentric Caesars. Have you ever wondered how an emperor's admiration could completely change a gladiator's destiny? Leave a like now, so we can keep bringing you more powerful stories like this one. If Espiculus won over an emperor, Hermes captivated the public with his versatility. Get ready to discover how he became a legend through the words of a famous poet of the time. Hermes, the multifaceted warrior. Unlike many gladiators who specialized in just one fighting style, Hermes chose to master multiple techniques. He refused to limit himself to a single weapon or armor type. His agility and quick learning allowed him to wield small shields, large shields, spears, and even nets, depending on the strategy he adopted to face his opponents. This diverse arsenal placed any adversary at a disadvantage. Hermes' fame reached the ears of Martial, the renowned Roman poet who dedicated multiple verses to him. Each poem exalted the almost supernatural way Hermes moved in the arena, describing moments when he dodged attacks and in split seconds delivered lethal counterstrikes. His ability extended beyond physical strength. He read the environment, used space to his advantage, and constantly surprised the audience. This versatility allowed Hermes to extend his career in the arena, winning battles in situations where most gladiators were unprepared. With a varied set of weapons, he confused opponents who expected one type of fighting style but encountered an unpredictable adversary ready to strike from multiple angles. This mastery made Hermes a true living spectacle, enhancing his prestige and ensuring his name was recorded in gladiatorial history. We've talked about a versatile fighter, but what happens when two gladiators are evenly matched in strength and skill? It's time to learn about the legendary battle of Frescos and Verses and its surprising ending. Frescos and Verses, the duo who ended in glory. Frescos and Verses were not just ordinary rivals. From an early stage, they followed similar paths in their gladiator training, learning the art of combat in prestigious schools under the guidance of relentless masters. It is said that their styles were almost complementary. Frescos was cunning and strategic, while Verses was aggressive and overpowering, often taking the lead in many fights. The highlight of their careers took place during the grand opening of the Flavian Amphitheatre, now known as the Colosseum, around 80 AD under Emperor Titus. On that day, thousands of Romans filled the stands to witness a historic spectacle. Frescos and Verses were announced as the ultimate grand finale. When they entered the arena, the expectation was for a fight to the death. However, what unfolded was a long, balanced, and astonishing battle. At one point, both fighters realized that neither could easily overpower the other. In a rare act of mutual respect, they simultaneously dropped their swords, surrendering to the greatness of their opponent. The crowd erupted in celebration, and Titus, deeply moved, awarded them both the Rudes, a wooden sword that symbolized their freedom. Their story was immortalized in poems by Martial, proving that glory was not always measured by spilled blood. Did you already know about this incredible demonstration of respect between two gladiators? Comment below what you think of their decision, and share this video with someone who loves Roman history. Carpóforos, the tamer of beasts. Unlike gladiators who fought against each other, Carpóforos was a bestiarius, specialized in combating wild animals. This category of combat was among the most dangerous, as there was no way to predict the exact behavior of beasts like lions, tigers, bears, and even rhinoceroses. Many bestiarii had short careers due to the extreme risks of these fights. Carpóforos, however, had a remarkable talent for dodging attacks and, most importantly, for understanding animal behavior. Some accounts suggest that he studied how each beast moved, analyzing its posture and aggression before striking. His preferred weapon was the long spear, perfect for maintaining a safe distance from sharp teeth and deadly claws. One of his most legendary feats occurred during the Colosseum's grand opening, when he faced multiple beasts in a single performance, thrilling the audience. It is said that on one occasion he killed 20 ferocious animals in a single day, including lions, leopards, and even a rhinoceros. Achievements like these elevated him to celebrity status, turning him into a national hero for Romans who admired his fearless courage. From a man who dominated beasts, we now move to one who fought human battles and even led a slave rebellion. Get ready to meet Crixus, the Gaul who became a symbol of defiance. Crixus, the rebellious Gaul. Crixus was born in Gaul and was enslaved by the Romans after military conflicts. Trained as a gladiator, his incredible strength and unyielding spirit made him a notable fighter. However, his discontent with slavery and the brutal treatment from his lanista, gladiator school owner, grew stronger every day. Crixus refused to fight merely for the amusement of others. The spark for rebellion ignited when he joined a group of slaves planning a mass escape. This event marked the beginning of one of the largest gladiator uprisings, triggering conflicts throughout the Roman territory. After escaping, Crixus helped form an improvised army of men who, like him, were willing to risk everything for freedom. At one point, however, there were disagreements on how to lead the revolt. Crixus sought vengeance against the Roman elite and aimed to devastate southern Italy. Determined to pursue his plan, he split from the main group, only to face Roman legions far superior in numbers and weaponry. In a bloody battle, Crixus fought fiercely, but was ultimately killed by his enemies. Despite his death, his name remained, etched in history, remembered as a gladiator who dared to challenge the entire Roman Empire in pursuit of justice. Was Crixus truly a symbol of courage, or just a reckless warrior? Leave a like if you believe his rebellion changed Roman history. If Crixus fought to escape slavery, Marco Atílius, on the other hand, surprised everyone by choosing to become a gladiator of his own free will. Let's find out why. Marco Atílius, chosen by destiny. Born as a Roman citizen, Marco Atílius was not forced into the arena like most gladiators. However, personal misfortunes led him to accumulate massive debts. Instead of running from his creditors, he made a shocking decision to join a gladiator school and fight for financial rewards. Atílius's early training was physically and mentally brutal. He knew that failure in the arena meant death. However, he quickly proved extremely skilled, winning his first official battles with unexpected ease. One of his most famous victories was against Hilarius, a gladiator known for his streak of 13 consecutive wins. Atílius's triumph shocked Rome as people began to see him as a rising prodigy. Over time, he continued to defeat renowned gladiators, including Felix, who had won 12 fights in a row. His meteoric rise was documented in mosaics and ancient graffiti, showing that even in a society where noble birth or slavery often determined fate, determination and bravery could rewrite history. If Atílius fought to pay debts, Flamma fought to find purpose in life. Now let's meet the gladiator who rejected freedom multiple times. Flamma, the unbreakable warrior. The name Flamma was actually a nickname meaning flame in Latin. This Syrian-born warrior was captured and enslaved after war. Thrown into the arena, he was expected to die quickly, like many before him. But Flamma shocked everyone with his exceptional combat skills, proving to be a fearless and ruthless gladiator. Over 13 years, Flamma fought in 34 official battles, winning 21, drawing 9, and losing only 4. He was awarded the Rudes, the wooden sword symbolizing freedom, 4 times. However, each time he was given a chance to leave the gladiator life, he refused. To Flamma, the arena was his true home, where he felt most alive, respected, and honored by the crowd's applause. His fascinating mindset made him a living legend. His willingness to embrace combat, knowing the risks, showed a man completely dedicated to his destiny. Flamma died at 30 years old, an unusually long lifespan for a gladiator. His name lives on as a symbol of relentless passion for battle. Did Flamma's decision surprise you? Comment below if you think you'd have the courage to reject freedom for more fights. We've seen a gladiator who refused liberty, but now let's meet the one who demanded it through a historic rebellion. It's time to relive the epic journey of Spartacus, the most legendary gladiator of all time. Spartacus, leader of a historic revolt. Born in Thrace, Spartacus was a soldier before being captured by the Romans and sold into slavery. He was later purchased by a lanista who ran a gladiator school in Capua, where Spartacus trained to fight. However, he never accepted his enslaved fate. His desire for freedom led him to orchestrate a bold escape plan that would change Roman history. With a small group of gladiators, including Crixus, Spartacus fled, using improvised weapons like kitchen knives and wooden stakes. Their rebellion sparked a massive uprising of slaves across the empire. In no time, Spartacus commanded a vast army consisting not only of ex-gladiators, but also peasants and household slaves. His military genius allowed him to defeat multiple Roman legions sent to crush him. Spartacus's journey was filled with astonishing victories, but also twists of fate that led to his final defeat in southern Italy. His rebellion was crushed, and Spartacus, refusing to surrender, died fighting. Despite his death, his legacy endured, making him a symbol of resistance against oppression. You might be wondering, what is the true significance of these gladiators for ancient Rome and today? Let's reflect on the lasting legacy of these warriors. The immortal legacy of these gladiators. Whether it's the bold strength of Tetrius Detran, the rise of Spiculus alongside Nero, or the versatility of Hermes, we see that each gladiator brought something unique to Roman society. For many citizens, they were heroes who embodied values of courage, honor, and persistence. For the powerful, they served as a way to demonstrate social control. After all, whoever held the power of life or death over the gladiators also controlled public entertainment. Frescos and verses showed that even mortal rivals could find mutual respect, while Carpóforos reminded us how much the Romans were fascinated by the human capacity to face even wild beasts. Crixus, Marcus Atílius, and Flamma reveal different sides of the gladiatorial spirit: revolt, redemption, and total dedication to the craft. And finally, Spartacus remains alive as an indisputable icon of resistance. Together, they compose a diverse portrait of ancient Rome, which, although grandiose, was also a stage for social tensions, dreams of freedom, and tragic spectacles. Understanding the journeys of these gladiators is to understand how the thirst for adventure, fame, or justice can transcend time. Their stories not only entertain us, but also inspire us to reflect on how extreme challenges can shape an individual's character and courage. If you enjoyed this journey through time and want more fascinating stories, subscribe to the channel, like and share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video about ancient Rome and the Empire.